Hello and good afternoon to all the participants of this training, specifically the LSAs, the newly hired teachers, and all the active reading warriors of the Division of Sarangani. I hope that you had a nice break and that now you are ready to listen and learn more of the basics of teaching reading. And once again, I am Teacher Charisse, and my topic for this afternoon session is developing learners' word recognition skills. And this afternoon, we have our objectives. First is understand the importance of developing word recognition skills among the learners. Second is learn effective strategies and techniques for phonics and word recognition instruction. Before we will proceed to our session proper, let's first have this priming activity. You will please read the following words and type the words that you were able to read automatically on the chat box. Are you ready? So please type the words that you were able to read automatically on the chat box. Okay, so the words here are educate, familiar, botanier, heaven, mnemonic, and iridescence. Now the question is, why were you able to read some of the words automatically? And for the words that you were unable to read automatically, were these unfamiliar words? What strategy did you use to read them? Okay, all of you can give your comments, give your answers on the chat box. And now we will have another priming activity. I want you to watch all of you to watch this video. I know that all of you are fond of watching TikTok and doing TikTok videos. So here is one of a very trending TikTok video. So let's watch this.
English class vocabulary. Oil, oil, sioi, sioi, sionot, sionot. Up. Appetite, appetite.
Okay, did you have fun watching the video? You may find it fun, no? But in reality, it happens, especially when we have children that still learning to read words. This really happens. So the question now is, why is reading or recognizing words in English difficult to learn? The answer is this. In general, English is phonetically inconsistent. Unlike mother tongue and Filipino languages, English does not follow the rule of kung anong bigkas, siyang baybay all the time. This makes many English words hard to decode and spell, isn't it? So in Filipino and in mother tongue, we use the rule kung anong bigkas, siyang baybay. But it's a different thing when we learn and recognize words in English. So let's have this word decode or decoding. What is decoding? Decoding refers to the ability to connect phonemes to letters to sound out unknown words. So on the earlier topic, you were taught about the sounds, no? The different techniques and learning the sounds of the letters. Decoding now refers to the ability of the learner to connect phonemes to letters to sound out unknown words. And we have here another phonics instruction. This is where the children are systematically taught the relationships between sounds and letters. This is according to National Reading Panel 2000. It helps build decoding skills. Now, on the other hand, word recognition is a skill to sight read words, which is reading them as whole words without having to sound them out. So going back to the video we watched earlier, did the teacher use decoding or word recognition or sight reading? So it's a different thing when we decode and we recognize the words or we read the words, because in word recognition it is a skill to sight read words. And according to Donald Potter, an author of Reading Made Easy, The secret of reading is to look at all the letters the right way without guessing. So as a teacher, it is now our responsibility, it is our task to help the learners read, no, not just decode the words. So how do we do it? The mechanical aspect of reading and writing, that includes decoding, handwriting, and spelling, must always be developed alongside the meaning aspects of reading and writing. That includes vocabulary, comprehension, and written expression. When we teach reading or decoding or sight reading, we must always develop alongside the meaning aspects of reading and writing. That includes vocabulary, comprehension, and written skill to give meaning to what the children are reading. Next, word recognition, or the skill in word recognition, follows a systematic. It means you have to do a plan. It is multisensory. You have to develop the multisensory skills of the learners, including auditory. You have to give activities that they can hear, including the sounds. And sequential approach, it follows a sequence to reading, recognition, and spelling development. Now, what are the word recognition instructional strategies? How do we do it? How do we develop the word recognition skills of our learners? So here are some of the suggested strategies in teaching word recognition skills. First is we have the sight words or sight vocabulary. Next is onset and rhymes. And third is this Fuller technique. Let us discuss one by one what are these strategies in teaching word recognition. First is we have the sight words. Sight words are those words that readers identify instantly. This is referred to as the look-say approach. The words have been memorized, and one look at the word can bring an immediate verbal response. Adult readers identify almost all words by sight. Going back to the first priming activity that we had, I know that some of the techniques, or rather the technique that you use, that you were able to read the words or the unfamiliar words, is this technique, the sight words or the look-say approach, because you have been able to memorize and to identify instantly the words being presented. So this is also the technique that we are going to use when we present words, especially words that are not decodable. Okay? So recognition is important because sight words are so frequently used, making up by some estimates 50 to 75% of all words that children are expected to recognize. Another is when we present sight words, we will start with the list of words that is within the reading level of the learners. Or there are sight words levels 1, 2, 3, and so forth. So we will introduce sight words to our learners depending on the level that they have. And remember that 50 to 75% of all the words are sight words, and these are expected to be recognized and to be learned by our learners. Next is the onset and rhymes. What is this? Onset is the initial phonological unit in any words, and rhyme, on the other hand, refers to the string of letters that follows. Are you familiar with word families? So this is the technique used in teaching word families, the onset and rhymes. It helps children learn about word families that lay the foundation for spelling strategies using the CVC, CVVC, or CVCV word patterns, and a lot more. Onset and rhymes activities. Words change by substituting the initial sound or the onset while keeping the predictable ending pattern, which is the rhyme. As children listen to the sounds in words, they begin to hear predictable sound patterns or chunks. That is why onset and rhymes or word families are important, because the learners begin to have the pattern, predictable sound pattern or chunks in words. For example, the word family of at, including cat, hat, mat, rat, sat, and flat, all have the rhyme at. Onset refers to the consonants before the rhyme at. in this case, we have the C, H, M, R, S, and FL. That makes it cat, hat, mat, sat, rat, and and flat. So changing the onset changes the word. Now we will just change the onset of the words to produce another words and another meaning. Take note that when we present words like this, onset and rhymes, we have to always present pictures for vocabulary building. This will give the learners the ability to understand what they read. Next, we have the Fuller technique. Now, it is a combination of the alphabet, the phonics, and the whole word method of word recognition. The technique requires that the beginning reader should have the following: mastery of the names and shapes of the letters of the alphabet. Next is adequate vocabulary so that the words used in the Fuller lessons will have meaning for them. Always include pictures and give meaning to what they are reading. That is adequate vocabulary for us, for the learners to have meaning, no, in reading the words. And again, the mastery of the names and shapes. Earlier, you already presented the different techniques in learning the phonics, phonological awareness and the phonemes, and you can use this in this technique. How to use the Fuller technique? Now, this is basically phonemic, as I've said. We have to first teach the mastery or the mastery of the sound, the name, and the form of each letter of the English alphabet. Attention is given to the sound of each letters. So it is really very important to familiarize the sounds of the letters of the alphabet before you will proceed to this technique or the word recognition technique. Now, these are the words or the letters rather that will be presented or that will be taught to our learners. Now, we will not present the letters just like what we are doing before, no? From A to Z. Now, we will present the letters this way. We will first teach them the letters M, S, L, F, T, H, C, R, and B, and so on. Now, why is the letters presented this way? This is arranged according to the frequency of their usage in the English language. So that's why M and S and L are presented first because, again, this is the frequency. This is much more frequently used in English language. So, we will begin first by introducing a picture that begins with the target sound for vocabulary building. Next, as we will focus the attention on the beginning sound of the picture and produce the beginning sound. Let's have this example. Example is we will present letter M. The teacher will say, "Hello children, what is this picture?" And then they will answer, "That's a mango," or mango. And then you will ask them, "What's the color of the mango? How does it taste?" For vocabulary building, and they will answer, "The mango is yellow, it tastes sweet when it's ripe, it tastes sour when it's not ripe." No? And then, that is correct. That is a mango. Mango starts with the letter M. Letter M sounds Let children repeat several times. Again, let the children repeat the sound and give emphasis on the beginning sound or the target letter or the target sound that you are introducing. Again, let's begin by introducing the picture first. For example, for the letter M, we have the mango. It has the sound of and it starts with the letter M. The sound is Okay. Same is true with if you're introducing some other letters like S. You have to present first a picture and then say the sound, say the letter, and then let the children repeat the sound several times. Next is we have to introduce more pictures that begin with the target sound for vocabulary building. Focus the attention on the beginning sound of the pictures. Next, produce the beginning sound, and then this time, we will practice writing the letter while sounding it in the air, on the floor, or on the other parts. Again, teaching word recognition is multi-sensory. You have to use all the senses now of our learners for it to be interesting. And lastly, we have to ask for other things or words that begin with the target sound or letter. Let's do it. For example, what is this? The teacher will say, what is this? Of course, this is a moon. Again, this is a moon. And then you can ask other questions to build more vocabularies for the learners and to give more meaning for the words. This is a moon. How about this one? Yes, this is a monkey. Again, this is a monkey. Focus the sound or the attention on the beginning sound of each words or each picture. Next, this is money. Yes, this is money. How about this one? Yes, this is milk. Again, this is milk. What is the sound that you can hear in each picture? Again, what is the beginning sound that you can hear in each picture? Yes, the children may say, Of course, all the pictures begins with the sound and this all begins with the letter M that has the sound of Now everybody, raise your hand and we will write letter M on the air. Let's begin first with the capital M. Okay? Refrain from saying Mama M or Baby M. No? You say capital M or the uppercase letter M and the lowercase letter M. Now raise your hand and we will write on the air letter M. Begin. That is capital letter M. Let's proceed to small letter M. Ready? Now you can write these letters on the back of your friend. But now that we have the pandemic, you can use the desk or the table or sandpaper, or you can when you already learn how to write it, you can use the pen and paper and start writing letter M on the paper. Now, we will now proceed to introducing the blending of sounds by families, those having familiar or similar endings. Now, if you were able to introduce the letters M, S, and L, and one syllable, which is the letter E, you can now start blending sounds by families. Okay? So, words changed by substituting the initial sound or the onset while keeping the predictable ending pattern or the rhyme. So here comes the onset and rhymes in the Fuller technique. As children listen to the sounds in words, they begin to hear predictable sound patterns and chunks. Okay, so here first we will introduce the short vowel words in consonant vowel consonant pattern or the CVC. Again, introduce first letter E or the short E sound. As in, for example, we have the pen, ten, men, pet, vet, net. Again, reminder, you always have to use pictures or real objects in introducing new words for the children to give meaning to what they are reading. Next, if you were able to introduce families of E or short E sound, you can now have CVC patterns having short A as in bat, E as in pin, O as in top, O as in sun. Next, we will now introduce the CVCV or the consonant vowel pattern, or also called the magic E, because in this pattern E is not pronounced as E, just like the appetite example during the video that we have, no? So this is read as fade, made, jade, making the first vowel long and the E is not pronounced. Okay? So proceed to the CVCC pattern, or the consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant pattern, just like form, warm, harm. Next is the CVVC, or the consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant for tear, fear, dear, gear, and here. Next is we can now introduce the consonant blends. So initial blends, CL as in class, CR as in crab, or CL as in class, because it's a blended initial blends. CL as in class, KR as in crab. Final blends, example the NT as in bent, ST as in nest, LT as in belt. And we also have the consonant digraphs, 2 letters that represent one sound. Just like the ch as in chin, catch, and catch, sh as in ship, and fish. Next, if mastered families of words can later be combined to form phrases, sentences, and possibly short stories. We were now able to introduce lots of word families, and now these mastered families of word will be combined to form phrases, sentences, and then short stories. How do we do it? We will first introduce the sight words that we had now, which will help children in reading the phrases such as is, are, the, has, in, and on. Again, you will introduce the sight words according to the level of the learners. Now we can now introduce the phrases such as, we will combine now the sight words and the word family that we were able to introduce. Example, in the net, has a pet, get the vet. Again, if you will be presenting these phrases, make sure to explain what it means or present pictures alongside these phrases. Next is we will now use the phrases into sentences or introduce sentences. Example, the vet has a pet. Okay, so use the words in phrases and short sentences. Again, emphasize the use of sight words because most of the sight words are not decodable. They should be memorized and should be learned by the learners. So example number 1 is, the man is in the van. And then you will ask questions according to the sentence that you presented. Always ask questions to check the comprehension of the learners to make sure that they understand what they read. Always ask question. Okay, for this sentence, the question is, who is in the van? A, the boy. B, the man. Of course, the answer is the man. I know that the learners will be able to answer this one if you were able to teach them properly the sequence of the Fuller technique or the use of the Fuller technique. Now, here are more examples to be used by the teacher rather, to be teach to our learners, to be taught rather to our learners. So example, there are 10 men, and then again, present it with pictures, and then ask questions after for comprehension checking. So how many men are there? So there are 10 men. The pen is red. What is the color of the pen? So it is red. So next is, the hen is in the pen. Where is the hen? In the pen. So always explain, always ask learners again to check for comprehension. Now, if they were able to read phrases and sentences with comprehension, we can now introduce short stories to our learners. For example, this one, get the vet. I need to get the vet. The vet can help my pet. The vet met with a pet. A net was on my pet. The vet got the net off. So as a teacher, we also have to model how we read the words, the proper phrasing of the sentences or the stories that we'll be reading. So again, ask for questions about the stories that you presented. Number 1, who do they need to get? Of course, the vet. Next question, who can the vet help? The pet. Who met with the pet? Who met with the pet? The vet. What was on the pet? A net. Okay? So examples like this, you can have your own stories, or you can get stories from resources or from the books to give more exercises, fuller exercises to our learners. Okay, and for our activity, closing activity, I want you to construct a sentence based on the given picture using all the words provided for you. So you can give these activities to your learners. First, you'll be presenting this picture and then the words. Okay, I want you to give your answers on the chat box. Again, construct a sentence based on the given picture using all the words provided for you. Okay, thank you. So, the possible answer is Mother will bake a sweet and yellow cake for Jake and Drake. You got it correct. Okay. So, as closing statement, reading is a very important skill. It is an essential learning skill to support learning in all subject areas at school and for some learning that takes place out of school. By building a strong foundation in teaching the learners how to read, teachers will be able to help students to succeed. That is from the ELLN files of 2015. So as a teacher, as future teachers, as reading warriors, let us all be an inspiration to our learners to help them succeed. So let's teach reading with the heart. Now, emphasize the love of reading for our learners. That's all for my topic for this afternoon. Thank you, and God bless us all.